My son has started a project this year. He's taking his special Sussex chickens and he's breeding them. So we've separated them in this little red coop, and it's only because we separated these Sussex to breed them, to keep them pure Sussex, that we noticed we likely had a egg eater. We wanted to hatch out the Sussex eggs, so we put them in this coop, and day one we saw, hey look, we already got a couple Sussex eggs, and then they were gone. So we laid a trap. Go for it.
Eggshells are not thin, that's for sure.
Not farm fresh ones.
We got an egg eater, one of the Sussex. So we're taking all the egg insides out and replacing it with hot sauce and mustard.
That'll teach him.
Not even April Fools. So we're gonna approach this issue with a multifaceted kind of approach. We're gonna put in a trick egg. Then we're gonna add protein to their diet, because that could be an issue while we have egg eating. Also, we're going to move the coop to an enclosed area so they can get out and start foraging. So if they're not all crowded in that coop, there won't be such a likelihood that they'll be inside eating eggs.
I would probably do that too if I was a born chicken.
The idea is that whoever's the egg eater cracks the shell, starts eating it, and then, gross. And they hopefully don't eat any more.
Gonna have to get a GoPro in there and film what happens.
Oh man, that's a great idea.
Time to plant.
Too evil, Dylan.
Yeah, my head is adding the effect.
Hey, slow down. Alrighty, Operation Trap Egg.
Is there an egg in there?
It's still there.
Okay.
Any cracks in it?
We are separating a couple of our chickens in this little red coop for a very specific reason. We are trying to breed more of our special Sussex breed chicken. These particular kind of Sussex are known for being good foragers. They get really big, so they'd be good dual purpose birds. And we're trying to be a bit more sustainable here on our homestead, rely less on feed inputs and more on pasturing animals, finding bugs, finding grubs. These chickens are supposed to be a great match for it. We want to breed a bunch of them this year for our meat chickens instead of ordering from a hatchery. But we want to make sure that the chickens are full Sussex. So we've separated our roosters and our hens, and they're alone in here. That way none of our other roosters wind up mating with them and we get little hybrids. So they're alone in this red coop right now. They have the minimum square footage per chicken in this coop that chickens are supposed to have. But these are free-range birds that are used to a lot more freedom. So we're not sure how they're going to do, and already we're seeing a little bit of a warning sign. One of these chickens has started eating eggs. We had 3 Sussex eggs sitting in there already, and now they're all gone. So we're trying to figure out, we want to have this chicken breed. We want to be able to make sure that we're breeding the same kind of chicken here. We want to make sure it's those eggs. But we got to find a way to pasture them away from all the other chickens. So this is one of our new adventures here on the homestead. Kate made a special teach a chicken not to egg eat anymore egg full of all kinds of nasty stuff. Well, the chicken devoured it. I don't know what is wrong with her. It doesn't take a GoPro shot to learn that that's our egg eater. Look at her go. See, yeah, that doesn't taste good, does it? So we're hoping that she learned her lesson. When we open that door today, if we don't see any eggs, it's time for chicken pot pie. Let's take a look. Aww.
I do have our own butter. What is she doing?
Do you pressure cook those chickens? Well, the verdict's in. If the glove doesn't fit, if the egg is gone, dinner.
Egg goes bye-bye, you'll be pot pie.
I like it. The verdict is in. If the egg goes bye-bye, you'll become chicken pot pie. Now I gotta make sure I pick the right chicken out of here. We know which one it is. We did a test. We switched chickens because there's two of these special Sussex that are different color chickens than all the rest of the flock. And we knew it was one because we saw her pecking at eggs, but we wanted to make sure we didn't pick the wrong one. So we took one out one day that we thought was a good chicken. Sure enough, we were right. The one we took out was fine. The one that was in here is the egg eater. The bad chicken out of here. And that day we didn't have any eggs in the barn. So who knows how long she's been eating our chickens.
Do you want me to bring an egg see if she'll do it?
Yeah, but egg eaters, there's no place for egg eaters. They must die.
Chomp down.
I think she's laying an egg right now. She's definitely the egg eater.
Go for it again.
Oh yeah. No, 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 Lonely Chicken. Well, it's confirmed. I'm not gonna leave this in there to be proven correct. This is precious right now. We're not going to the supermarket. We are quarantined 30 days here at the homestead. Every single egg is, we've never treated these like so treasured as we have now. And that's really why our tolerance for this egg eating is like not there. We tried the whole give her the fake egg with hot sauce in it. We have upped the protein. We know she could be a little low on protein. Maybe it's a result of that. But the fact is right now eggs are precious, and if she starts teaching other chickens to do this, we need every egg that's coming out of these chickens right now. So she will not go to waste. We're also happen to be low on chicken in the freezer right now, so she'll become a delicious chicken pot pie. And now many of you know my son is the chicken master on the homestead, and he loves all his chickens. But he does have favorites that are named. These Sussex are not named. They're not one of his favorites. And we did talk to him. We said, here's the deal, son. She's an egg eater. And he said, well, you know, can we have her just lay eggs for us, keep her separate? We said, well, she'll eat all the eggs. So she's just consuming feed right now, and she'll eat those eggs. There's no reason for her to continue. So he gave us his approval, and it was really because Mama promised to make him a chicken pot pie. That's what won him over. So he's not gonna be here for the butchering. He didn't really want to be here for that, but he don't mind enjoying a chicken pot pie. I do think she's laying an egg right now. Can we get one last egg? I guess I could. All right, we're gonna go butcher a chicken. Believe it or not, I have never killed a chicken with the old hatchet and a couple of nails thing. Usually we set up the killing cones and you know, have a whole processing day. It certainly is quick that way. Only thing I didn't like, I got just totally covered in blood. I look like an axe murderer. And if you were a chicken, you probably would agree that I am one. So I am covered in blood. I look kind of frightening. But other than that, that was pretty efficient and easier to do for one person all by himself. And just for one chicken, to set up the cones and get the knife and all that. This did work good. So we're going to just process her, get her ready for chicken pot pie. So this is like the Uber like homesteader way, just one chicken for dinner kind of way to, you know, pluck a chicken or process a chicken. Just gonna tie a piece of bale and twine to my post here. Just something to keep it, as I pluck her, I'll keep it tight. Okay, I got a little slip knot. Gonna put that over her foot. Hold her steady. Definitely. Oh, sure. You know me, I was just gonna let them blow everywhere, but.
Wearing gloves or anything? Do you want gloves?
Rubber gloves?
Precious gloves.
Nah.
Can I help?
Yeah. It's gonna be more work to put them in that than let them go. It'd be nice. We've never eaten a Sussex. Goodness, look at that. How's that for a fluffy butt Friday? Hashtag.
The chicken community.
Oh, there it comes. So you got an egg coming out there? Oh, just a turd. This is kind of actually a nice opportunity for us. Our son's great aunt is the one who had these chickens, and she got them because they're supposed to be really good at foraging for their food.
Yeah, like eggs.
And they're also able to turn that into, they're supposed to be able to turn that into a good sized carcass. And just from what I'm looking at here,
Yeah, it's really nice size.
this is a nice
And
size
it's a
hen. This looks like a ranger. This is a big meaty bird, and it's, I mean, it's a full heritage breed chicken. We can breed these here in our little coop if they stop eating each other's eggs. So I mean, you look at the size of that drumstick on a heritage breed egg-laying hen. There's not a lot of good dual-purpose chickens out there, but this may just be one of them. So we've never actually eaten one, but the idea is to raise these as our future, you know, meat chickens. They have white feathers, which makes for a really beautiful carcass. The nice little white feathers, they clean up really nice. I mean, look at, as you start to see this coming along here, you always want white feathers if you want a clean looking carcass. And look at how much meat's on that bird for a heritage breed chicken that's eating nothing but like whole grains and bugs and oat, you know, whatever. So this is a good opportunity for us to actually try one out, see what we think, see how they turn out as dual-purpose chickens. This might just be the best dual-purpose chicken out there. And there's the title of the video. Hashtag not clickbait. been, I think, a year.
What did we do? Those roosters?
We did a couple roosters. Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. We had too many roosters.
Pretty darn good.
One bad day.
Let this be the reason you watched this video. If you're gonna pluck a chicken, don't get every little dang pin feather out. Little chicken cooker torch. These work awesome. Gets all those little fine feathers out, speeds up the process. Just make sure don't burn the skin. You gotta go real quick and just singe it and then scrape it.
Like you're making creme brulee.
Like you're making creme brulee. That's a nice looking chicken.
Yeah, she's nice size. We're here to vlog.
That is not a bad looking chicken for an egg laying hen who's like, you know, not being fed like chicken pellet, egg pellet. I mean, look at, there's breast meat there. Not a huge, that ain't no Cornish cross, but there's breast meat. Big old thighs, nice size thighs. I mean, that's not a bad looking chicken. And those drumsticks, I mean, nice stuff there. That's nice. All right, we're gonna gut her and then send her inside. Maybe we'll get one last egg from her. This is truly the Homesteady guide to just butchering one hen for dinner kind of thing. Just up on the hay bales, I got a bag of rabbit feed that's empty to keep the blood from getting in the hay. Nothing fancy here. If there's any little pin feathers left, I'm just rubbing them out. I can still take the chicken cooker and singe off any little feathers around the edges, but I'm not gonna do that on top of the hay and set my barn on fire. I'll do that outside. But now I'm just gonna cut her open and gut her, and she's ready for dinner. Look at the fat.
Yeah, I know. That's what I wanted.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What's your shot?
You tell me. It's not bad. A little far back, but.
Bring back doing this with Kathy.
I was just watching that the other day.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was going through old
There's an
stuff.
egg yolk. I mean, it's kind of good to kids.
There's the bucket. There's an egg yolk right there.
But there's no. Fell back asleep at the beeping. Got him. Is it hard?
Oh yeah,
It's like an egg.
that's an egg ready to go.
Leave it, Pop.
It's incredible the size,
Yeah.
right?
I know,
Like,
but thinking of like the size of the animal.
yeah. Look at how cool. This is so cool. So this is like tomorrow's egg. This is today's egg. Actually,
That might be tomorrow's.
that's probably tomorrow's egg. This is today's, or this is the next day's. This is today's.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of sad, like, oh, look at all these eggs we would have got. But she would have eaten them. We weren't getting any from her. So that's just like, that's about the freshest egg you could possibly have in the world.
What about this teeny tiny?
And then when you look in, I mean, they just keep coming.
It's like a Russian nesting doll.
That's a future egg. And there's even tinier ones. Look at that. Just like all the possible eggs in the future. So cool. So cool to see. And this one, we're totally gonna just take it and have for breakfast tomorrow. Precious, beautiful, perfectly formed egg that she would have eaten.
Yeah.
But instead we get to eat. Beautiful little chicken heart. We love eating chicken hearts. Gonna save that. Yummy little chicken heart. Well, that's about the most basic, easy homestead way to butcher a chicken. It would take you forever to do it with that method if you were doing 50 chickens all at once. But if you're just butchering one chicken for dinner, which if you think about the way homesteaders used to do things and like the most sustainable way to have food for your family, if your goal for raising meat animals is sustainability, people throw that term around all the time. Oh, I want to be more sustainable. Sustainable means to be able to continue to go on without any outside inputs. So if you want to really be more sustainable, growing Cornish crosses is not sustainable. Now let me be clear here. I'm not saying growing Cornish crosses is bad when I say it's not sustainable. I raise Cornish crosses almost every year. I used to raise Cornish crosses, but they require a lot of outside input. If you want to have Cornish cross meat chickens, you have to order them from a hatchery. They have to be shipped to you. You have to get grain that is in bags that is either shipped to your local feed store or shipped to you. These birds you can actually breed yourself. A Cornish cross requires all kinds of outside inputs, which I think for a beginner homesteader is a great thing to try. Do a Cornish cross, in 8 weeks you're done. But we are transitioning our homestead here to being more sustainable, being able to continue without a lot of outside inputs. Right now, when there's a pandemic going on and we can't go out to the feed store for 30 days, it's nice to have chickens that can do more foraging and we have to spend less of our store of grain on them. Those chickens can go out and find bugs and grubs better than a Cornish cross can. Cornish cross can still do it, but those chickens do it better. And that chicken, Kay just weighed it. It's a 4-pound chicken, laying eggs, but it's got 4 pounds, which is not all meat. There's a lot of bone there, but we'll make stock with that. We'll break it down. We'll use every piece. We're gonna use the hearts. We're gonna use the eggs that we pulled out of it. That chicken and the ones that aren't egg eaters, the rooster and the other hens, will breed. They'll have more of that same kind of chicken because they're the same breed. They'll make the same kind of chicken. They can eat and forage around our property with very low input. That is a much more sustainable way. And if you think about the old-timey homesteaders, they didn't have refrigeration. They couldn't kill 50 chickens and put them in the freezer vacuum sealed. They would do what we just did. They'd pick one of them that, you know, maybe was getting older and wasn't laying eggs anymore, and they'd kill her for today's dinner and tomorrow's dinner. They'd make stock, they'd make parts, they'd cook it up, and then that was that, and then they had to do it all over again. So it's very much kind of back to basics. I prefer to do batches of meat birds, but that's definitely one way to do it. And without, if you're really trying to do homesteading off-grid, low energy, back to basics, if you take away your chest freezers, the chicken can keep itself alive till the day you butcher it, and then if you let it, you eat it that day, you don't really need refrigeration now. I'm always gonna have a refrigerator as long as it's available to me. But it's kind of a cool glimpse into the way things used to be, and even now in this world, with this weird virus going around, it's nice to be able to know we have meat that's walking around, that's alive, that can reproduce on its own without outside inputs. A bit more sustainable. Now, a lot of you have wanted to see how Kay cooks a egg-laying chicken like that that's a little bit more of a tough bird compared to like a big fat Cornish cross that's only 8 weeks old. So we're gonna show you how Kay normally will prepare an older, tougher, dual-purpose bird. So let's go into the kitchen, let's wash up, and actually we're gonna fast forward 2 days because we like to let them rest a day or so, let the rigor mortis pass. So we're gonna zip into the future now and see how Kay cooks this 2 days later. Ready? Future. We're gonna get to see how Kay cooks an older egg-laying chicken. But first, it's time for the cam study. It's time for the Homesteady Camel Train shout out. And today's shout out goes to another fellow YouTuber, Sandy Morgan. Sandy is getting ready to begin her homesteading life. They have the property and they have a little cabin now. This year, they're gonna be selling their home in the city and moving to the cabin full time. You're gonna get some chickens, awesome. They're gonna get some rabbits, also awesome. And they're gonna build a greenhouse. Sounds like you guys are gonna be off to a great start at your new homestead. If you'd like to see someone move from the city to a cabin in the country and just start from scratch, you can follow them at the Morgan Homestead YouTube channel, and you can click right there to go check them out. Thank you guys for sponsoring this episode of the Homesteady Camel Train. 100 days of 100 videos all about growing our own food for the health and well-being of our family. We got about 60 more videos coming in this journey, all sponsored by somebody who joined the Camel Train. The t-shirts coming for you Morgans, so stay tuned for your one-of-a-kind Homesteady Camel Train t-shirt. You have lifetime access to the Homesteady Pioneer program. The Camel Train is sold out, but if you'd like to become a pioneer, you get access to our in-depth library, extended versions of our interviews, classes that I teach, courses that I used to teach at schools about raising chickens and farm businesses and all kinds of other stuff. Click there to get access to the Pioneer program. You can do it for as little as $5 a month, and it helps us make this show. Now let's see how Kay cooks up that delicious old stew head. Here's how to make it the best.
We've gotten a couple questions about how we cook these hens. 2 years ago when we first moved here, we did a batch of older hens, and I cook them all the same way. Instapot or pressure cooker for 60 minutes, a little bit of water in there, some salt. Austin missed the beginning of this because it seriously takes about 30 seconds to get this chicken in the Instapot. And then I set it for 60 minutes, and it looks bad because we've been picking at it already. But the meat will really just fall off the bone. Very tender. I really like using pressure cookers to do this sort of thing. I had a smaller pressure cooker that I used a lot to get these really tough pieces of meat tender. Then a few years ago, 4 years ago, there was a good sale on Instapot, so I got one. It's super easy. Look at that. That would be great on Food Network. The broth. That's why I didn't want to skin this chicken, because look at the broth. All that fat will be delicious. She was worth plucking. Link below for the Instapot. Thank you. I use the Instapot for also making yogurt. When we get a whole or a half beef, all those tough cuts of roast I'll stick in here. I like it because right now we're eating a lot of rice. It cooks the rice perfection. What else do I use it for?
Some beans.
Beans, yeah, dried beans. Really good for that. It's nice because unlike a pressure cooker, just a regular pressure cooker, which I liked using once I got the hang of it, this has the timer function on it, so it's a bit more hands-off if you are living under a rock and you've never heard of an Instapot before.
Maybe
Definitely not new to most people. Sorry.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's that chicken stuff.
And
What do you think, dude?
it's a tiny new thing. Okay, puppy. Have to try some new things.